evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 25th of May. Indian President invites investors from China during 4-day visit to the country. Afghan Taliban elects new successor, confirms Mullah Mansour's death. And Chabahar port will give fillip to India's economic development, say experts. And now for all the details. India on Wednesday wooed Chinese investors in country's flagship programs like Make in India and Smart Cities projects. This came as Indian President Pranab Mukherjee is on a 4-day visit to China.
Indian President Pranab Mukherjee promised an encouraging environment for investments from China. President Mukherjee addressed the India-China Business Forum in the industrial town of Guangzhou, attended by industrialists and businessmen from both the countries.
To realize the full potential of our economic partnership, it is important to bridge the information gap between our business communities. We are committed to providing a conducive environment for more investments from China.
President Mukherjee also talked of balancing bilateral trade, which is now in China's favor.
India would like to see a greater market for our products in China, particularly in sectors where we have natural complementarities and competitive edge.
The bilateral trade between India and China has grown steadily since the turn of this century, from $2.9 billion in 2000 to $71 billion last year.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Iran is being seen as a major game changer for India's economic and strategic growth, not only with the country but other Central Asian nations too. The Indian business community welcomed the Chabahar port and trilateral agreement. A report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded a 2-day visit to Iran with signing of various agreements on Monday, including 2 deals which are being seen as New Delhi's crucial effort to build economic and strategic pathway towards Central Asia. The most noteworthy of the 12 agreements signed between the two nations is India's investment of $500 million to develop Iran's Chabahar port.
There's a lot of optimism, and we feel that that could be a game-changing relationship with Iran, and it could also be a great opportunity for our hydrocarbon security and also for reducing the cost of logistics. So there is a growing interest to see how it works out.
Another major development that took place in Tehran during Prime Minister Modi's visit was the trilateral agreement on transport and transit corridor signed by India, Afghanistan and Iran. Linked to the Chabahar port development, the corridor will give an opportunity to India to expand trade and connectivity with Afghanistan, bypassing Pakistan. The corridor will help India to expand trade, which will boost economic growth and generate employment. India, through the corridor, will be able to connect with Central Asia. When linked with the International North-South Transport Corridor, the port will serve as a link between South Asia and Europe. This will help to bring down cost and time of cargo trade to Europe by about 50%. The corridor is being deemed as a response to the China-Pakistan economic corridor.
Kashmiri leaders across the world have for long been fighting for rights of people of Gilgit-Baltistan. Recently, a campaign was held in Vienna city of Austria along with European volunteers to show solidarity with the cause of the people in Gilgit-Baltistan.
A signature campaign against the construction of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, was held recently in the European city of Vienna. The campaign is being organized across Europe against illegal annexation of Gilgit-Baltistan by Pakistan and the multi-billion-dollar project.
Pakistan is the gateway and key to CPEC accord. Our interesting part in this whole game is the गिलगित के किसी फर्द को इस CPEC के अंदर बिल्कुल एतमाद में नहीं लिया गया.
Pamphlets and flyers were distributed as part of the campaign to spread awareness about the plight of the people in Gilgit-Baltistan. Human rights activist and Kashmiri writer Junaid Qureshi, who organized the campaign, appealed to the people to support the cause.
We believe that the China-Pakistan economic corridor is illegal. Gilgit-Baltistan is an integral part of Jammu and Kashmir. It belongs to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. This corridor has no value for the local population there.
The people of Gilgit-Baltistan do not have any representation in the CPEC. Locals allege that the corridor is a sure attempt by the Pakistan government to exploit the resource-rich region.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, at least 11 people were killed in a bomb blast in Kabul province. Afghan Taliban has taken responsibility of the attack.
Suicide bomb attack in the outskirts of Afghanistan's capital city of Kabul on Wednesday has left at least 11 people dead and 10 others injured. The suicide bomber targeted bus carrying staff members of an appeal court at 9 a.m. local time. Afghan Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid stated that it was a retaliation to the execution of Taliban prisoners by the Afghan government and also threatened that more attacks are to be followed. Earlier this month, the Ashraf Ghani government executed 6 Taliban members who were on death row over terror offences.
After the death of Mullah Mansour, Afghan Taliban on Wednesday has appointed Maulvi Haibatullah Akhundzada as its new supreme leader. Taliban in a statement said that all the members of the group have pledged allegiance to Haibatullah Akhundzada and will follow their new commander of the faithful. Akhundzada was one of the deputies of Mansour who was killed in a US airstrike in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan. He is said to be a prominent religious scholar and headed Taliban Religious Ulema Council. The Smart City Mission is an urban development program designed to focus on India's rapid growth, its challenges and opportunities. As part of the mission, cities across India will compete on the basis of their smart city proposals to receive funding from the government.
The Indian government on Tuesday announced the name of 13 more cities that will be eligible for priority funding under the Smart City Mission. The prominent cities shortlisted include Dharamshala, Port Blair, Panaji and Chandigarh. The mission took off earlier this year with names of 20 cities being announced for funding in the first round of the Intercity competition. The India Smart Cities Challenge is a competition designed to inspire and support municipal officials as they develop smart proposals to improve residents' lives. Cities were shortlisted on the basis of smart answers the local administrations provided to the government's questionnaire. The Smart Cities Mission is a new initiative by the Government of India to promote cities that provide core infrastructure, drive economic growth and improve the quality of life of people by enabling local development and harnessing technology as a means to create smart outcomes for citizens. Some of the core infrastructure elements of the initiative include adequate water and electricity supply, sanitation including solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transport. The Smart City Mission will be operated as a centrally sponsored scheme and the central government proposes to give financial support to the mission to the extent of $7 billion over 5 years. That is, on an average, $14.7 million per city per year. The government plans to build 100 smart cities by 2020 to decongest existing urban centers and accommodate the booming population.
Well, that's the way towards in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian President invites investors from China during 4-day visit to the country. Afghan Taliban elects new successor, confirms Mullah Mansour's death. And Chabahar port will give fillip to India's economic development, say experts. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.